Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. What are we talking about today? The Completionist, of course, and how some YouTubers have been silent, if not outright defending this guy. One of those persons has been Pat CONTRI. His silence has been deafening in this, I want to say. Let me adjust the volume here a little bit. I'm in the middle of vacation here, guys. I'm out in the Philippines, taking care of my kiddos and doing my schoolwork at the same time. YouTube time has been coming at a premium for me right now. So I made a shorter video on this. I put a post out that you guys can read along, which is the basis of this video, by the way. And, you can just, if you want to delve into it, you can go in there. Regardless, the Completionist charity controversy unveils Pat CONTRI's cultish silence, right? The CEO podcast, known for delving into gaming controversies in the video game industry, particularly those that are interesting to Pat CONTRI, have recently faced criticism over the handling of the charity scandal linked to the Completionist. While Pat CONTRI has been a prominent figure covering various gaming scandals, his silence on the Completionist has raised a lot of eyebrows. Now, my perception of the show, and Ian in particular, is that he's checked out for a while now, right? He himself, if I want to say when he checked out, when I thought he really checked out was when he called Pat a shelf collector. And I would trust Ian's opinion more than I would anybody else, right? Because he's been there in the trenches with him. But the show has changed over the years, with like any other YouTube show. With money, everything changes, right? Money changes everything. And you can tell Ian is not comfortable shilling for ball washers or whatever the hell Pat wants to put into the show and make him advertise. He's just not comfortable with that. You could tell. And that's really changed the dynamic of the show altogether. But really, my support waned around, I want to say 2019, 2020, when Pat used profanity to address some of the Patreon donors' requests. He wasn't too happy about having the Patreon people paying his salary telling him what to do on his own show, right? They're paying his salary, but they can't have opinions. Just give them free money, right? That's something that's something DSP would do. But these guys are all the same in, the grand scheme of things, regardless. Now, despite these incidents, I still continue listening to the podcast from time to time. But, when Pat CONTRI didn't go right on this, it raised a lot of questions, especially given the history of him properly addressing a lot of the gaming controversies. And finally, in a seemingly lukewarm post, wet noodle post, Pat explained the delayed response, citing a desire to allow the completionist JIRARD to respond out of respect for their past history. Now, let's go in his own words here. After the news surfaced, I stated that I wanted to refrain from saying anything public until JIRARD could respond out of respect for our past history to hear his side. Now, guys, let's be real here. Let's be 100% fucking real here. If WADA had said this, what would have been Pat's reaction? Right? If anybody linked to the Amico would say anything close to this, we would know exactly what the reaction would be. They were part of the cult, right? But not if he does it, right? Let's continue with his statement here. This is not drama or something I wish simply to record and upload to YouTube without some serious thought. This is a very serious situation with very serious allegations being made, leading to potential serious legal ramifications. When the hell did that ever stop Pat CONTRI? Look, I'm not here to defend WADA or the Miko or any of that crap. We share some of those same opinions. But holding this position on this man, the completionist, is beyond hypocritical. It makes him full of crap, right? Because he wouldn't give this to anybody else. The only reason this guy is getting this is because it's his buddy and his business partner who wrote in his book, right? Business associate, if you will. That would be a better term. This approach, characterized by restraint and consideration for a friend's response, deviates substantially from Pat's usual stance of ruthlessly criticizing those under scrutiny. Right? This podcast host's inconsistency afford such leeway to others that he wouldn't afford to others makes this situation particularly hypocritical, or full of crap would be a better description, right? The completionist alleged mishandling of charity funds, to me, right, is more egregious, and a better word would be evil, than both the WADA and Amico scandals combined. Not only that, the accusation ranged from mismanagement of funds to withholding charitable contributions for an extended period of time, while simultaneously this guy's out there saying that he needs more money for his channel. I mean, this is beyond DSP. This is beyond everything else. And on top of that, Pat said that he felt defrauded, right? Because he lied to him too. Now, this controversy has led, hopefully, right, not only by some, but for, I hope, a lot of people to reassess the relationship between the art and the creator, right? Despite the completionist apparent guilt, Pat CONTRI seems hesitant to criticize his friend, illustrating the impact of the connections that, or straight out YouTube clicks that are out there in the gaming community have. And a lot of them are just really more business relationships than friendships. Now, as the evidence mounts, you know, like the CSR is kicking his ass out, YouTubers associated with Completionist face more scrutiny for their potential knowledge or involvement in the charity scandal, right? Because a lot of people participate in these things, right? So questions arise. Normal questions arise whether this guy shared any details. I mean, these people were there while these funds were being collected. Nobody knew anything. Why did any other, you know, investigative YouTubers out there fail to raise any suspicions? Why? The completionist was conducting business. Let me tell you that. How many of you have business partners that you never talk business with? How many of you have coworkers that you never talk about work with? How many have those kind of work relations where you don't share business tips or tips of the trade? I will have to call BS on that every time, right? If people are claiming that they knew nothing, right? Because I just want you to think about this deeply. Pat CONTRI and others on YouTube, on these YouTube circles, want the public and you to believe that they were oblivious to everything. Not for 1, not for 2, not for 3, not for 5, for 10 fucking years. They never talked about anything. Somebody out there is full of it. You're all full of it for not calling this guy out. The fallout of the controversy raises concerns about those who were waiting for charitable donations and the potential damage get caused by this friendship bias. Not only by people losing money that they probably would have donated to other better charities, but the good that money could have done. Right? Retro gaming on YouTube is evolving into a murky, freaking toxic business that's all about money. It's all about the e-beggars. You know, these guys, as a team, make DSP look like a saint. Right? This is concerted, covering up for this guy. You know, the skepticism towards creators is on the rise, and rightfully so. The Completionist and Tommy Tallarico may have seen the end of their YouTube careers forever. But still, Pat faces criticism for this type of silence, casting a shadow over his credibility. That's right. You can't walk out there without a bloody nose on this one. You can't live in glass houses and keep on throwing stones, right? You can't claim the divinity of the consumer advocate shield forever and do things like this, right? This coverage gave him a bloody nose, and we all know the divine don't bleed. This right here is sickening by many, many YouTubers, not just Pat CONTRI. He's just one of the most egregious to do this crap. He would never give this to anybody else, ever, unless they were his friends. All right, guys, these are my thoughts. I grammarly AI'd the crap out of this because I did it real quick. And I have to go back to taking care of my kid, and I have a lot of homework. I have a paper due on Monday. So with that, I bid you farewell. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the videos, guys. I do appreciate it so much. Hey, what do you think? Do you guys think these guys knew? I think somebody knew something, and somebody will eventually snitch. That I know for a fact. Can you imagine this guy gets popped, and then as part of his deal, he starts snitching? Hey, I'm not the only one who did it. This guy does it. This guy does. Now that would be amazing. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.